17. Carter suddenly hit, obviously didn't react. Just as he was about to yell, his cell phone rang. Carter comforted Lily, turned around, and answered the phone. "What did you say?" "Impossible." As if he had heard some shocking news, he whispered a few words quickly and hung up in a hurry. He only had time to give me a warning look before leaving with Lily. Now only Theodore and I were left in the booth. Thinking of the conversation that had obviously gone off the rails, the whole space suddenly became silent. Theodore suddenly smiled softly. Although I felt Claire seemed to have changed, just now, I vaguely felt the familiar you had returned.
Theodore said.
Just when Carter hoped you could reconcile, your eyes. Claire is a sincere, gentle, and affectionate girl. She's always so delicate and gentle when she looks at Carter, even when Carter isn't treating her well. As if describing someone else through me, Theodore recalled. Even so, Claire's eyes are pure, filled with only heartbreaking disappointment. After he finished speaking, Theodore tilted his head and looked at me again, smiling slightly. Unlike when you hit him just now, your eyes were filled with a lot of emotions. More like a spectator and outsider. Theodore took his coat and put it on, buttoning it up. He stroked my hair again, seemingly just like an ordinary friend, and said meaningfully, "Perhaps it was the right decision for me to go abroad this time." I had no idea Theodore's perception was so sharp. Or rather, he knew Claire so well. I didn't know what to say for a moment and could only watch Theodore leave. I waited until he was completely out of sight before I leaned against the wall and closed my eyes. The strange throbbing in my heart when I faced Carter was completely gone. I know, Claire, you've completely let go. 18. You're late. I opened my eyes, looked at the young man half leaning against the booth door, and said, Alexander rarely wore a black suit over his shirt today. It made him look less frail and more energetic. He coughed softly, sat on a chair, poured himself a glass of water, and sipped it slowly. If I hadn't arrived earlier, would you have dared to hit Carter? Alexander curled the corners of his lips and looked at me jokingly. I dare, but I thought about it. If Alexander hadn't arranged for someone to make that phone call to Carter, whose content was unknown, well, I might not be able to beat the 6-foot-tall Carter. Alexander propped his face up with one hand, smiled at me as I was lost in thought, stood up, and bowed his head slightly towards me. I'm sorry, Miss Grace. I wasn't paying attention and Carter found out your location. It was my negligence. After hearing what he said, I felt a little embarrassed to blame him. I could only wave my hands to indicate it was okay. Carter is still quite capable. It's okay. And thank you. Alexander couldn't help laughing when he heard this. After all that saga just now, you haven't had dinner yet, have you? Alexander always pursed his lips when he smiled, softening his originally sharp features like a spring breeze thawing an icy stream. As an apology, I'll treat you. Okay, then I won't hold you back. Seeing that he seemed in a good mood, I didn't want to spoil it, and readily agreed. I'll treat you next time. Alexander just continued to smile, without commenting, and handed me the menu. Carter is the only one who can't tell the difference between you and Claire. Alexander took a sip of red wine and whispered.
What?
I didn't hear clearly and turned my gaze from the menu to his face. Alexander poured me a glass of red wine, smiled, and shook his head. Nothing. 19. During this period, I had a relatively comfortable time. No one came to see me. I was alone at home. I recharged my games with the most expensive packages. I turned the air conditioner to the coldest setting every day and browsed Amazon while wrapped in a quilt. Wow, this dress is so beautiful. For figures? Buy it. Is the new high-end gaming PC on sale? Sure, top of the line, buy it. This is the perfume I want. Hey, Claire has it. Oh, only half a bottle left? Buy a new one. Looking at the pile of things waiting to be shipped, I sighed with contentment. The phone rang. I saw it was Alexander and picked up. Hello, Miss Grace, it's me, Alexander said softly. Carter heard that Lily lost the baby, and he's been looking for you all over the world. She was only a few weeks along. I didn't even touch her. She fell on her own, and she lost it. I grabbed a handful of potato chips and started eating them with a crunch. Alexander chuckled softly. I heard from the hospital it was only 2 months, but the truth is, only Lily knows who the father really is. Oh, that's not right. I patted the potato chip crumbs off my hands. Didn't Carter and I just get divorced over half a month ago? If Lily says the child is Carter's and the child was 2 months old, can I sue Carter for adultery and ask for a property division? Miss Grace, you've really thought this through, Alexander said, seemingly unprepared for me to bring this up. You can file for divorce or file for post-divorce settlement within a year of the divorce. Alexander paused and said, and Miss Grace, Carter hasn't filed your agreement with the court yet. Strictly speaking, you're not legally divorced yet. So exciting. I didn't expect Carter, this idiot, to still want to keep me hanging. What about Lily? I'll figure this out. Alexander could faintly hear the rustling of pages on the other end of the phone. Issuing a false medical record will be enough to make the doctor who diagnosed Lily suffer.